What's up, guys? Wait for a few people to flood in here. Hopefully, with any luck, they'll flood in here. Couple guys. So if you're watching a recording, I'm talking to myself. Go. All right. So today's what you're working on Friday instead of Thursday. Hey, Mark, what's up? Is in the van. So we're in the back of the van because I got a lot of work to do this weekend. Hey, George. So I got a bunch going on. We're in the back of the van because it's getting a little crowded in here. And hey, Rudy. And I got to get a printer put in it. I've been emailing receipts and it's been a little bit difficult. So we're getting a van tour. Whenever, let me get this thing to focus here. Whenever my van's done, yes, sorry, I keep tapping to make sure it's focused on me. When the van's done, yes, we'll do a van tour. But I got a little bit more work to do. You can see the power strip behind me. That was put in when I first got the van ready. So I'm not really doing a van tour right now. Kind of more of a what you working on thing. And I didn't prepare very well because I'm in the back of the van. So I don't have a whole lot of time, or I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. But I wanted to come and hang out with you guys, let you know what's going on. So I had a lot of stuff I got done today. And Sunday is going to be a fun one. I got a ton of stuff from TST I want to talk about up in New York, because a lot of us from YouTube got to hang out, and it was a blast. But I got all kinds of stuff. I got t-shirts, and I got stickers and stuff, and I don't want to forget anybody, and I got it all in the house, so I'm going to do all that on Sunday. But it's Saturday today in Brisbane, Australia at 7:45 a.m. See? Okay, so Sunday, which will be your Monday. Sorry, Australia. Sorry to everyone in Australia, not just Steven. So Sunday, when we do the live stream before the Patreon stream, I got a ton of stuff to go over. So it's going to be kind of like a mail call kind of thing, because I got some stuff in the mail. I got stuff. I got stickers. I got t-shirts. Got all kinds of. Let's see. Sunday, we're going to give away the tools that I don't have in here right now, but we're going to give away the Launch 4008. I don't know, 3008. I don't remember what part number was. It's their larger handheld OBD2. I did some filming with that today. It was kind of fun because, and I'll spoil it for you, sitting in a stoplight, van just starts shaking. My personal van, or my work van, just starts shaking like crazy. And waiting for Drew Tech to get back to me to register my +3. Ooh, having troubles, huh? Van starts shaking, so I go through all the rigmarole. I'm like, hey, this is the perfect time to try out this OBD2 reader, because I really just need to see. I had an idea of what it was, that it wasn't even like a misfire or anything. I kind of thought it was something else. So I used the code scan. It's got live data. I mean, it grabs live data. So looking at fuel trims and stuff, determine it's not a fuel or spark or anything related issue. It's a bad motor mount, but I've never been in a vehicle when the motor mount went. It was kind of neat. It was kind of neat for it to actually break on me. You know, as techs, we see them after they've already broke, right? We don't normally get to be in them when stuff goes haywire or when stuff breaks. So it was interesting. It was my first time to ever be in a vehicle, and then a motor mount like break fast, like break immediately. Clean my idle air control valve on a 91 Civic 1.5 and still idles high. Could it be the TPMS sensor bad? Rudy, it's not. It's probably not the TPMS sensor. Idle air control valve could be just bad instead of clean. It's going to be difficult on a 91 Civic to see anything, but there is a possibility to see live data. Just not with any tools that are really out there you're going to find easily. It's going to be difficult to determine a high idle on an OBD1 Honda. You're going to want to start with checking for vacuum leaks. And you could do carb cleaner if you wanted to, since you can't really see live data. There's not really, I mean, there are scan tools out there. The old, I got it right here in the van behind me, so I'll grab it. The old MasterTech MTS 3100. That in conjunction, let me grab it. This is what's nice about being in the van. I can show you. So it's like a mini tour. If you ask me about something, then maybe we'll talk about what's in the van. I don't know, but that scan tool in conjunction with this, and it's all backwards. It might not be backwards for you guys, but it's backwards for me looking at the picture. The Honda Acura Pro card. So the MTS 3100 was the factory scan tool for Honda and Toyota before their current generation scan tools. And so it just requires for Honda, the Honda card, and for Toyota, the Toyota card. And then they also made, because Vitronics was the manufacturer of the Consult 2, they have a Nissan card that I'm holding upside down, and it's probably backwards in the camera. So I have those and all the check cables, because it requires, of course, OBD1 doesn't have a standard cable for all manufacturers. So there's all different kinds of cables for Toyota and Nissan and all that stuff. That tool is used for that, but it's a 91. The probability is that it's a, and I said it, and I think Mark said it on the chat at the same time I said it, but there's a lag, so, you know, technically Mark said it first. Mark said vacuum leak on a 91. Most likely is a vacuum leak somewhere on the engine. Especially being a 91, I think that's got that big vacuum box that's got like 1,000,000 lines into it. Manuel, what's up? Oh, got some kids riding some Power Wheels out here. And then no vacuum leak, it'll rev up and down too. Sure, it's idler control. Probably is idler control valve then if it's fluttering up and down. And again, it's hard without getting data, without looking at stuff, without testing anything. It's difficult to come up with that. But what else? Hey, Francisco. But in the van today, I'm actually rearranging some stuff because I gotta fit my printer in here. Gloves, you know, gotta stay clean. Even though I always say stay dirty, or get dirty, or have fun, or something like that. Say all that stuff. Hey, Sam. This is way home. You're on the way home. Awesome. This is gonna sound dumb to you guys, but I'm actually sitting in my driveway. But I got to get this done, and my van's, you know, nice and air conditioned, and it's actually kind of warm today. It's got a little warm today. But I got this smoking deal. Most importantly, how's my wife? She is happy to be home, but says she misses New York. And I will let her know that you asked, Keith. She said you guys were all fun, and that your wife was awesome. Said that she really enjoyed talking to your wife. So tell her that I said that. Liz just pulled up behind me. My wife did. So she's gonna come knocking on the van and be like, what are you doing? Why didn't you go inside in the office? I'm like, because I have work to do, and I need to do a live stream, and I don't have enough time in one day to do it all. But, so, I need to get a printer. So I got a printer. I got a Samsung. It's very small, so it's very small form factor, so it fits. I mean, this is not a very big shelf. This is not a, it's actually going over here. You can't see it, but that's where it's going. Hi. I am. She goes, are you in the van doing your live stream? I am. So I got that printer for like dirt cheap. The thing's actually, it's actually LaserJet or whatever. Yes, new level. You need to make a video. Befazzo, you need to make a video in your van. He won't even show me a picture of his van. He's pretty cryptic about it. I mean, I thought I was his buddy, you know, but I asked him for a picture. I was like, hey, can you send me a picture of your van? I'm trying to get some organization ideas. He goes, you don't want to see a picture of my van if you want to talk about organization. So I assume he's probably kind of like mine looks right now, or it's like just piled full of crap right now. A couple awful tail boxes there. Jeremiah, what's up? I missed you, man. I hadn't talked to you in like a couple weeks. Van looks like the space shuttle inside. My van? Question mark. Keith. DeFazio. Oh, I was in Hazard Fraud today. And I'm not like a big... I don't go to Harbor Freight for a lot of stuff. I actually went for just a cheap power strip, just because I needed something to move a couple of the chargers over to. Like a bomb blew up in mine right now. Keith says it looks like a bomb blew up in his van right now. Anyways, I'm not a big Harbor Freight Hazard Fraud. I call it Hazard Fraud. I don't know about the rest of the country, but we call it Hazard Fraud out here. Should turn the Do Not Disturb on, forgot. And this is for you guys. You're supposed to be asking questions if you want. You don't have to just listen to me blabber, but I'm going to talk in between because, you know me, I can't stop talking. I don't buy like tools from Harbor Freight a lot at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you got some, I have some of their sockets, like the regular chrome sockets. That's what I've used. Testicle lights. He makes fun of me for that. DeFazio does. I bought my first test light. I'll finish the Hazard Fraud story in a minute. I bought my first test light a couple months ago, and I've used it like 3 or 4 times. The bulb went out. Like I gotta like beat it on something to get the bulb to start working again, and it's no TC. So that's what I get. Should have bought like a Lyle or a cheap one or something. But anyways, bought my first test light, and it does nothing but frustrate me. So I'm just not a test light guy. I'd self-taught myself, so it's difficult for me to use a test light unless I'm trying to replicate some kind of 220 milliamp, you know, load or something. I don't know. I don't have very many uses for it. But anyways, I like voltage drop. I'm a voltage drop fan, and my U-scope makes a great voltmeter. So I was in Harbor Freight, and I ran into this a couple times. I have a pretty nice little wireless Dremel that I keep in the van here. It's kind of the bottom drawer piled away, so I'm not going to get into it. But I use it quite often. So I needed a replacement for it, and I bought this. So I'm going to let you guys know how this works, because this thing was like $22. They make this rotary tool kit, and so I'll let you know how much I like it or hate it. But it's like 22 bucks at Hazard Fraud. So, you know, we'll see how that works, how long it lasts. I clean keys with it sometimes after I cut them. Usually, I mean, I got this little cleaning wheel that's on my... You can hear it. It's like a dingleberry hone. You guys remember those for cylinders? Dingleberry hones. It's just like that, but on a little wire wheel looking thing. So that's for cleaning keys. But sometimes I got to take and clean up a little bit of it, because, you know, if I'm just duplicating one and the key's a little worn, sometimes I cut it high and then shave it down so it's about the same. Vincent says, U-scope on back order as usual. Know who to thank for that. He's in the room. That's right. DeFazio is the reason why they sell out of U-scopes. I have had mine for a long time. I am actually contemplating, when they're no longer in back order, just buying another one to have, because they're so inexpensive. And if mine failed, I'd be heartbroken. Welding Junkie just got his, Vincent. Okay, so there, some people are getting theirs. But anyways, place an order, they'll fill it. That's right. I'll probably just order one pretty soon, because I found out like a couple things that would just devastate me, like J-box failure. That would devastate me. Power supply. That would devastate me, because then I would have to start using the Snap-on one again, and it's like 80 pounds and ginormous. So I may look at getting a second power supply. Yes, Vincent, order tonight. There's one. There's a link to it, to the AES Wave one on Train by Tech's website. There's a AES page that's got a bunch of the stuff that we use, and there's a link to it in there. I'm telling you that because that is a affiliate link, and that Train by Tech gets a kickback on that. If you, I'm trying to be honest with you guys, if you are not okay with that, just go straight to AES Wave's website and purchase it. And all it is a link to the site. But I think Keith might have an affiliate link too, so if you got one, post it up, DeFazio. Either way, just buy it from AES. That's the best thing. Best thing to do. Make sure if the tool is sold by AES Wave, buy it from them. Anyways, I got this printer. This printer sells for $99 on Amazon, and it's a inkjet, so it's like it takes toner cartridges, right? It's just black and white. Keith says I don't make a dime on YouTube. You're right. None of us are really making any money on YouTube. We talked about, we're all together. A lot of us YouTubers were together there in New York. And we kind of talked about YouTube in general. And I mean, a lot of people think that we're getting rich off of it or something, but like legitimately, I have like 600,000 views, and it'll yield like that many views will yield like maybe $200. You know what I mean? Like YouTube is not anything. I can assure you my monthly YouTube income is well under $100. So anyone that thinks I'm making all these videos to make money is has no idea what's going on. We take all this time to make all these videos because we enjoy it and we want to spread knowledge. We want to get you guys inspired to go to these training events and to grow yourselves within the industry. There's so much more in this industry than what I had ever thought when I first started. I had no idea that it went this deep. Right, and I know what DeFazio meant. DeFazio meant he technically receives about $400 a month, but he donates it all to St. Jude's Children's Hospital because DeFazio is an angel. He's a saint. I don't mean that facetiously at all. I mean, DeFazio does an amazing thing and donates it all. And maybe that's something I should start doing, is donating my YouTube money. Have I done any Bosch training? Most of my training has been through Bosch. I'll tell you. Bosch's training is awesome. Bob, I don't know who does like Australia's Bosch training. DeFazio would know more about that. But Bob Pattengale does a lot of the training over here in the U.S. And I know Bob. I've talked to him quite a few times and talked to him at Vision and hung out with him there and just spent some time with him. And Bosch and Bob is a great guy. Bob has done a lot of stuff with Bosch over the years. I don't know who does Australia's training, but I know it's all been pretty decent for sure. Exactly the same, just less common rail. Okay. Also, on my Patreon, I put a poll, and it's a public post, so I don't know if just anyone can. I mean, it's a public poll, so you'll be able to vote on it even if you're not a patron of mine. I would hope so, because I made it public. And it's questions about my class. So I'm almost done recording the J2534 class, just in a clean format without the audience interaction, because it gets recorded as over the 13 or 15 weeks or something like that I taught it on the Patreon channel. I taught the entire class, but it had a lot of audience interaction. I tried to answer every question and elaborate because we weren't constrained by a classroom time limit. So we spent a lot of time going over it and talking about all the advanced features, you know, all this stuff, some stuff that doesn't even make it into the class, to be honest. Anyways, I have a clean version of it. I'm almost done recording where there's no interaction. It's just teaching the class. I'm contemplating the book. I'm still writing. I'm writing the book as a field manual, and you can thank Chris Martino for that, because my original plan was to just do the book as copies of some of the most important slides for you to take home and have room to make notes when I teach it live. But I'm writing the book as a field manual now, to where it can be used by itself, to where it's just a reference manual when you're done, and that way it's usable. If you take the class, you watch the video, then you have the book, and the book has got most of what I talk about written in it in text, so you can go back and go, now what did he talk about when he said, why was it important about these power supplies? And there's a lot of the text in there, and the images and the waveforms, and some of the slides, the important ones, especially the charts that have information, like the software compatibility charts and that stuff, and recommendations on hardware and that stuff. But anyways, so the poll is asking if you guys would like to purchase the video by itself, and then also have ability to buy just the book by itself separately. And if the poll shows that most people would rather have that availability to buy them separately or as a package for a package deal, then I'm going to make the video available when it's done recording for purchase for a digital download. And then the book will be available later, so anyone that bought the digital download can buy the book with it for the same package price, or you can buy them together. And the book will be available digitally or paperback, or a physical copy. I haven't decided. I haven't got all the stuff figured out yet. But anyways, that's what the poll's about. So go to patreon.com/Keith Perkins. There's the poll there. Hopefully you guys can do it. Let's see. Sorry, there's some questions in here. Now, will you be teaching an 8-hour class, question mark? Yes. So at Super Saturday, coming up October 12th in Warminster, Pennsylvania, I will be teaching the J2534 classes, a full 8-hour class. There are other, if you were not interested in J2534 programming stuff, there are a ton of other instructors going to be there. Ziegler's going to be there. John Thornton's going to be there. So it does not hurt my feelings for anyone that would rather take a John Thornton class than a Keith Perkin class. So he will be there. So if training is something that you guys are into, which I hope you are, then that's one option for you. And then Bryn Klein is having Eric Ziegler and Scott Schotten out to his shop, or out to a college by his shop in Melbourne, Florida. And they're going to do a full day class there. And that full day with Ziegler and Schotten, I mean, both of them are teaching. It's at a college. There's lunch provided, all that stuff. And that's April 27th, I think. I'm pretty sure it's April 27th. So you would want to contact Bryn Klein, Assured Auto Works. You can Google Assured Auto Works in Melbourne, Florida, and you'll find it. And Keith, yeah, anyone from Florida. I think that's what Keith was hinting me about. Maybe I should just let Keith give me everything to say. Matt Poole says, yes, hello, Florida. Well, Matt, you need to get a hold of Bryn Klein with Assured Auto Works and get that set up to where you can go to his class. Steven says, the course I did with Frank Massey I did last year, Frank came to Australia, was $800. Yeah, but I would fly to Australia and take a course with Frank Massey. That dude's a freaking genius. I'm going to sit front row for Keith. I'll wear short shorts. Oh, that's good, DeFazio. All right. Office Depot almost got me for a USB cable. They're like, hey, there's not a USB cable in the box. It takes a special one. You should buy it. And I was like, well, it's wireless. I just pulled this thing out of the box. This is a regular printer, like USB-B connection. This is not a special USB cable. This has been the same printer cable they've used for forever. Like, I think since I was in high school, they've used the same USB-B for printers. Super Mario Diagnostics says, hi from Florida. Mario, dude, you got to show up to that one. I know you're trying to save for the house and stuff, but it's Ziegler and Schotten in your hometown, so it's going to save you some money. Or not hometown, but your home state. I mean, Florida's not that big, right? That's a joke. He says, no, I got the house. Okay, that means you're totally broke, so now you can go to more training events. Oh, he's going to that event. So see, guys, Super Mario Diagnostics, check out his channel. He is going to that event. So if he can do it, you can do it, right? Isn't that like what Eric says? Something like that. 2005 Lacrosse CX36. Won't think the next morning. Jump start relay, then fine until the next day. Barry, what you need to do is put a test lead on the wire coming out of the starter relay, and put a test lead for the ground control or whatever it is. Try to replicate the concern. Go to the starter relay and see what you're missing. Because the starter relay, even if it's a 3 on top, 2 on bottom, or just 2 and 2, if it's a GM relay, I assume its designation, you're going to have most likely a constant power, 2 constant powers on the relay. One's going to be fused, and then one's going to be like PCM control or another smaller fused circuit. It's not going to carry any load. And then on that same one, there's going to be on the other side of the coil, and if you look at the wiring diagram, you see this. There should be a ground side switch that's probably PCM controlled. And then you're going to have your constant power and then the actual load side that goes to the starter itself. So you want to see what you're not getting. You should get constant power, and then switch to ground when you attempt to crank. If you get all of that, and you get power out of this load side, and you check at the starter and you've got power at the starter, you need a starter. If you're missing the ground side, then you're probably missing the ground side switch from the PCM. And the first thing, before you even do any of that testing, first thing I do is replicate the concern, look in your scan tool live data, and you should see a crank request. That'll be in your live data in the PCM, most likely the PCM or the BCM. You'll see crank request, yes or no. If you see crank request, yes, then it should be grounding the control wire to that relay and engaging the relay to turn the starter. So those are all things to look at. So just think of that. Okay, the system sees some inputs from the security side. Once the inputs come in, the PCM says, all right, crank, and the PCM or the BCM, it might be the PCM tells the BCM to ground the wire. There's no telling. Anyways, it's going to tell it to activate that relay. The relay will then close the circuit and engage the starter. So find out somewhere in that system. And so this Sunday, on my Patreon channel, that is the training. We're going to be doing a diagnostic process video. We're going to be talking about the diagnostic process. It should be 2 weeks long, I think. It'll be this week and this Sunday and the following Sunday is what it will take to complete the entire class. And it's just a generic, we're going to build a diagnostic process. And that process is something you're going to try to follow almost to a T on every diagnosis, whether it be electrical, drivability, even noise concerns. These are all things, it's a fairly generic setup, but I promise you, if you build a process that covers the majority of these steps, I'm going to outline them, the major steps. I'm going to give you some of my specific ones. Like on certain drivability or electrical concerns, I also do this other test every single time. And if you can follow that process every time, and the process is a solid process, you will speed up your diagnosis time significantly. And that's the only way us mobile guys survive, is we have to be fast and efficient. We have to be correct, but we have to do it quickly. Because I can't spend 2 and 3 hours on a car and only bill for one diag if it was my fault. Now, if it's something that's 2 or 3 hours of tracking down faults, I have to be able to articulate why it took so long to do that. And I always just kind of look to myself and go, all right, did I miss something and that's why it took me so long? If I did, I don't bill the customer for that. But anyways, Eddie Davis says, just dropped second engine in a Dodge Avenger, still no good, can't stand these used engine frustration. What year Avenger? Is it like a newer 15 or 16 or something with a multi-air engine? Because those are, I mean, it may not be a total engine failure. You can have a loss of compression in one or all the cylinders and it not be anything more than just a valve cover pull and a small timing issue that's fairly common on those. Could be oil concern. Low oil. I get called for a lot of crank no starts on these multi-air engines, and they're like a quart low on oil. Because the multi-air system is hydraulic controlling valve actuation. Oil is the lifeblood. Oil's always been the lifeblood, but now oil controls, compression, controls valve activation. So there's not really a mechanical connection between the camshaft and the valve. There's a mechanical to hydraulic connection. The next most deceiving state is New York. I missed that. Just make sure to check the map before you book a flight. Okay. I got you. Hey, Michael, I didn't see you pop in. And Anton, I missed your comment. Hi, starting a mobile diagnostic service in the Bahamas. The Autel Maxi DOS DS808, good to start with. I guess that's a question mark. Okay, I'm not familiar with the DS808. But I can tell you that I could never do my job with just one aftermarket scan tool. It takes a lot of, for me, I have to have quite a few OE subscriptions because I work on a lot of newer vehicles, so I run into a lot of things that require specific learns. I mean, that's all I can really say about that, is that I couldn't get away with one single aftermarket scan tool. If you had any diags with the multi-air system, Keith, what was the result? And it was that. I've had oh, you're probably asking DeFazio. I'm sure DeFazio has some fun stories. But myself, almost all of my multi-air faults have been low oil or lack of, or way overdue for an oil change. That was a big part of it. Most of them have been the vehicles either low on oil or way overdue for an oil change, or technically it's usually both. I haven't found any that were like leaking and that was the cause, but man, you would not believe how many of them just a little bit low on oil, and they can have all kinds of drivability, idle concerns, crank no starts. It is outrageous. But so let's continue on. Driving from Miami to the Panhandle feels like driving across Texas. Probably. I think somebody, no joke, this is funny. So I live in Oklahoma. Somebody recently said that one of our governors or senators or something propositioned selling the Panhandle to Texas. Like, what the hell? Why would, I mean, I get it, there's nothing out there but red dirt, but it doesn't mean we need to sell that part of the state to Texas. You know, Ron White made a funny video, and I'm not trying to make this political at all, but Ron White did a really funny video about fixing the border control problem or something. He was You know, I don't care where you stand on it. It was just, what he said was, what we should do is we should sell, we should go in and buy Mexico, right? And then sell it to a country that can only afford the down payment but can't make the payments, like Peru. He said they're sitting on stockpiles of cash. He goes, what we do is we let them default. We repo Mexico. And then, and I don't even know how, I don't remember how he got to where we own Mexico, because we don't, they're their own country. But, you know, or maybe he was talking about Florida. I don't even know. It was hilarious. The point was, he said, oh, it's probably Florida. And he said we should just repo the country, and then use the money that we got on the down payment to renovate, and then resell it again. It was, look up Ron White border policy. It's hilarious. The guy's funny. He's been to Oklahoma a few times. Every time he comes here, I can tell he doesn't care, because he gets super smashed before he comes on stage. Turn it into a resort destination. Yes, Patrick, that's what he said. 2012 Avenger can't rotate to install torque converter bolts. Possible timing chain. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. It's possible. Pedro! What about writing a book? It's a topic I've talked with Brandon on Steckler on several occasions. Absolutely, Pedro, and that's what I'm trying to do with my J2534 class, is I'm using some speech to text or a timeshare. That's right, make it into a timeshare. Florida would make a good timeshare. Between like Peru and... Anyways, his idea was move the border all the way down to Panama and just build there because it's much shorter. Which I think that makes more sense. But I think there's already a bunch of border walls down there, so I don't know. I don't pay attention. I'm not trying to make it all political. I don't care. This live feed's cracking me up. Mara, that's the whole point. I wanted to have fun. Man, I get on there and I'm pretty serious usually, but like Paul Danner, I think it's an excellent idea. Those who, like me, have access to your seminars, it'd be an excellent source of information and guidance. I think that'd be great. That's why I want the video to be available, is so you guys can watch the video, but it's not the same as being in a class, but it's much better than having no information. And that was my major part with the J2534 thing, was it's not like you can go into all data and look up how to do it. You know what it says? It just says program module. This is why I watch all you guys. Well, thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. We make all this content because we enjoy giving knowledge. And that's why I really like it when guys are like, man, I've been getting emails. This is me getting off, but I've been getting emails from people saying, I've gone through your training now, and I just finished my first module, and it was so easy, you know, understanding. You gave me the confidence because I knew what to expect. You gave me the tools to troubleshoot when there would have been a problem. So they had the confidence to do it, and they had a successful programming event, and that is the best feeling in the world. When someone told me, you gave me all the knowledge to do this that I couldn't do before. And that's just, man, that's awesome. What level will your class be, Perkins? Absolute beginner or already knee deep? Yes. So I wanted this class, every time I go to training, you know, and the better and better you get, the worse and worse you feel training gets. I talked to a lot of guys that have been division a bunch of times, and they said, man, this year I just didn't feel like there was any really good training. And that's because they've gotten so much better in themselves. They've grown themselves as a technician to be so much better that a lot of it is more remedial now. You guys need to keep going to training, though, because you may be reminded of a basic step that you skipped that will save you one day, or you'll be reminded of you'll be taught a new way to look at something. And that's a big part of this. But the class is written, my class is written to where it's designed to take someone who never flashed a vehicle and prepare them to flash the most common domestic and Asian vehicles and modules, and prepare them with some of the more intermediate level knowledge in order to troubleshoot when there's an issue, or some of the more commonly seen but not as simple point and click type module programming. But I literally wrote this where every 40 minutes of content, there's a golden nugget for the tech that does programming every single day. And that was the point. To where somebody like me that programs every day, someone like DeFazio can set in, I'm not going to be able to teach DeFazio anything, but maybe Nissan programming, maybe Nissan Nerds programming. I don't know, maybe not. But anyways, the idea was to take someone who is really familiar with programming, set them in the class, and every 40 minutes there's that golden nugget of, oh man, I wish I would have known that. I ran into that. I had to do all this other, you know, to take a guy that flashes all the time and put him in the class. I wanted to have him entertain, have him still learn, So yes, there'll be times where I'll mention a topic, but I'll try to build, it's foundational. I'll introduce a topic or an idea or a process, and I'll build to the intermediate, and then I'll give that high-level golden nugget of information. And then we'll go to the next thing, and we're going to build from the foundation up. So I wanted it to be useful for every technician, someone who's flashed every day or someone who's never flashed, and then both be able to get quite a bit out of it. And the big part is there's a lot of charts, compatibility charts for what softwares you can put with what, hardware stuff. And even if you know everything that I'm going to teach, you're going to at least get to see what tools and equipment I'm using, and maybe it'll give you a new avenue or a new something to look at. But it says, and you're coming out with a video. So I've already taught the class online to the patrons. It was like 14 or 15 weeks. And those guys have access to the recordings of it. And then I've taught it locally to tech school and then to a group of shop guys. And then I'm going to be teaching it at Super Saturday on October 12th in Pennsylvania. But currently I'm re-recording the class, and it's changed since the first time I taught it. I mean, GM's updated stuff. I had to make, there was a couple videos in, we were way past the GM programming, but I made an amendment to it to where I was like, hey, GM changed their whole site. It's different. Now this is what it looks like. So as of today, it's still up to date. But I've had to add stuff almost every month. I've had to add something. I mean, originally the class was done like over a year ago, but I wanted to take it from a small, it was going to be like a 2-hour video. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to build a full 8-hour class with a book and everything. And it's kind of just expanded into this growing, living thing. And because J2534 isn't constant, it's constantly changing. That's the only thing constant about it. It's taken a lot to keep that updated. But I've changed. Ford stuff has changed. GM stuff have changed. Chrysler hasn't changed a whole lot. But man, GM, they've added Java exceptions, different versions. They're now removing support for Windows 7 on December 31st of this year. It's still going to function with Windows 7, but they're not going to support it if you call for help. What's the difference between Tech Authority and YTech? Jason C says October 12th. Correct, October 12th. Chad, thank you. Hans Edercare says, hey Keith, what's the difference between Tech Authority and YTech? So YTech is the diagnostic software that's OE. It is now available for use with a J2534 device as long as the device meets the API 5.0 standard. So currently, I think that's the Bosch MTS 6531, the Cardac 3 Plus, which is what I'm using, and then the Brightstar Engineering Micropod, which is the factory tool. And they have a Brightstar Engineering Pulsar, which is a smaller, almost like a Mongoose Pro looking thing, designed by, I believe, the same Controller Technologies. I don't remember who makes it. Anyways, that's like the only devices that meet the security standard API 5.0 in order to be allowed for YTech. So with even that J-Box, with the Card Plus 3, you can purchase a $50 3-day YTech subscription and have full diagnostic capability from 2010 and up with that J-Box. Now, in order to flash a module, you have to have Tech Authority access. Tech Authority is a separate subscription that allows you access to flashing and module programming. That's a different thing. So let's say you get a 2019 Jeep and you need to do, that's a bad example. Let's say you get a 2016 Jeep and you're going to do a module, but you need to diagnose it first. But your scan tool doesn't have the bidirectional controls you want and all that stuff. Well, you can pay for 3 days of access at $50 for the YTech and have the full factory diagnostic tool with your J-Box, right? And you go, oh man, this module's bad. They need to put a module in it. So they get the module, they put it in. Well, then you're going to need to pay $24.95 for 1 day's access of Tech Authority in order to do the flash procedure. So that's kind of, there's a lot going on there, but they're different and the same. So you can buy just Tech Authority access for $24.95 and have access for 1 day to module programming. And then you can program all modules 2010 and up, almost every module, and any routines or relearns that need to be done. That comes with the J2534 app and Tech Authority access. 2009 and previous, you only have TCM and PCM module flashing, is what they say, but I've done a TIPM and I've done some other stuff. So it accepted my MaxiFlash J2534 when I registered, Hans says. Awesome. I thought the other ones were the only ones, but they're probably being required to allow any J2534 device. Let's see. Mario, does your shop do any program? Dude, where's source? Sorry, let me go back far enough. I do flashing, but I always pick up a tip watching Keith's videos. Thank you. Awesome, Neil. Get there, Jason. All the cool kids are doing it. Dude, where do you store this information? I have a really good memory, and that's all I can tell you. I am not smart. I'm not. Remember, you know what they say. Let your brain be a processor, not a hard drive. My brain's a hard drive. It stores all the stuff. I'm not super smart. It's just, that's how it is. What about wind module? Hands auto care? Let me ask you something. What kind of vehicle are you putting the wind module in? And I'll give you some information about that. Jason says, maybe I'll go with Mario because I've never left Jersey besides New York for TST. Ozstar says, oh, hey, Glenn. If you think Keith is handsome on the live stream, you should see him in person. That's right, buddy. Distinct Rides by Davey says, you're on another level. Love the videos, man. No, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know about being on another level, though. Super Mario says, I wish we did, so that means Mario's not doing flashing, but we're going to get you into it, buddy. I accept it. Accept my maxi flash. Thank you, Keith. You're awesome. No, you're awesome. Trying my best to, Jason. Can't promise. Do it, Mario. Talk him into it. Get into programming. It's just one more thing you don't have to sublet out or send away. Don't be humble. You're smart. 2008 Magnum. All right. So you're going to put a wind module in a 2008 Magnum. If you have a launch or an Autel, you can do it. Now, have them order the part from the dealer. And when it comes in, call the dealer and say, I need the PIN number. And what they're going to say is we can't give you the PIN number unless you've got an LSID. And tell them, that's okay. That means I'm going to put my own PIN number in it. Because I don't know if they know it or if everyone else knows it, but when you install a brand new wind module, when you do the wind module replace function, it's going to say enter the PIN number. What you're actually doing on the first install of a new wind module, this does not work for used wind modules, but a brand new wind module from the dealer, a virgin fresh one, fresh right off the bunch. When you install it and you do wind module replaced function in the Autel or the launch or a lot of the aftermarket scan tools, I know those two will do it. It's going to ask you for a PIN number. Whatever PIN number you put in, whatever 4-digit PIN number you put in right there is the new PIN number for that wind module. It does not matter what the old one was. You are actually programming the PIN number into the module, telling it this is your new PIN number. And this happens a lot. So, and that's one downfall to that is if you get into a car and you do the right thing and you use your LSID and you pay for the PIN number, you get the PIN number and it says wrong PIN. You're going to be frustrated. So that's why some of us, even us that have LSIDs, have bought some of those janky Chinese tools that everyone gripes about that will pull a PIN number. Why? Well, if we have our LSID, I have the right to go through a process and do that. So if I've gone through the process and done that, and then I get the wrong PIN number, I'm going to be upset. So I try to read it first if I can. How about used WIN? That's going to take some EEPROM work. Because I've never tried a used WIN with like YTech. I just don't do so many used modules just because it's one of those things. I'll tell you who does. Tommy Oliva. Tommy Oliva with Train by Text does a lot of used modules. He'd be the one to ask. I try not to do used modules. I just tell him, like, look, I'll give it a shot with a used module, but I'm not going to do 2 hours of research to figure it out for you for free. Now, I can follow, and that's why I said, man, I'm not that smart. I can follow service information in store, how to do that stuff. That's all I'm doing. I mean, I'm reading service information, what could go wrong from there, but man, that only goes so far. But I don't know. A used WIN module, I don't know. I know it's possible with EEPROM to transfer the data from one to the other, but I don't know if just programming the VIN is going to fix it, because I don't think that changes the PIN number, and then you got to get the PIN number out of the other module, so maybe you have to use your LSID for the original VIN to pull the PIN number, then you have the PIN for that module, then you program the module and it changes the VIN, but I think you still have to use the old PIN number. I don't know. I literally don't know. Great tip on the PIN number. No problem, thank you. Chad says, just ordered launch diag gun from your Amazon channel the other day. Awesome, thank you, bud. I appreciate the support. So any link that I put, guys, is an affiliate link, and they give me like a small percentage of the sale of it. So that's, I appreciate that. That helps me. But if you feel like you shouldn't do that, then absolutely go straight to Amazon, search for it, and buy it there if you don't want to get a percentage on it. It does not hurt my feelings. I just appreciate all the stuff that all helps me make this content and spend the time to do this. Let's see. I don't know if Keith's van is a rockin', then don't go knocking, he's programming. I'm going to put my laptop on a different stream. I think the stream quality looks really bad, and I'm just now figuring that 45 minutes in. Anyways. I'm losing a little weight. Yeah, I need to lose more. Man, when I got married, I was 180 pounds when I got married. Dude, I'm a fatty. I'm at like 260 or 70. You should look at that picture of me at Super Saturday. I was bloated. I was eating all kinds of food, man. This is just a good angle. I'm still fat. I mean, I'm still a fatty, but this is just a good angle. What do I think of the Launchpad 2 AE? Yeah, I saw that. I think we lost me, but I'm back. Hey, Wyatt. Hans Auto Care, really? Cowboys or Sooners? There's only one team in Oklahoma. It's the Sooners, man. That state team, they're a joke. At least if we're talking about football. If we're talking about wrestling, that's a whole nother ballgame. But anyways, I did lose the stream over here on my laptop, so. Oh, I'm not even, normally I have a couple black hats. I got this one that's got the operator's patch on it. Got the American flag there. America. And then I've got an OU one that I wear. If I can get this thing to load. Dang it, I can't see the comments. There we go. There we go. If the Launchpad 2, I think, is a good product. I held it in my hands the other day at the launch booth at TST. I like it. You know, and the thing is, I was an Autel guy forever, and I still like my Autel, and I still use it. There are things that it's fantastic for graphing over the launch, if we're talking about aftermarket tools. But I've had a couple of these Chinese distributors that distribute the launch tools give me a scan tool or two of launch, and man, I'm telling you, they're really impressive. So I really like the launch stuff, but I haven't got to have my hands on a lot of the US launch stuff. So, man, Wyatt, I'm sorry to hear your wife got sick. That sucks. She caught a virus, hit her stomach. Man, I hope she gets to feeling better, buddy. And it was good to meet you, Wyatt, in person finally. Wyatt was there at TST with us. You should check it out, Wyatt One Abel's channel. They gave me a sticker, and again, I forgot all that. I'm going to do a big like mail call, look at all the cool stuff, and then I feel really bad because I didn't bring anything to give to people. So I'll be contacting some of you guys and shipping you guys some t-shirts and vinyls, hopefully. Dang, you guys have been interactive. I was hoping to get my printer installed, but I got a black and white printer, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, my wife, the funny thing is my wife does shirts and stickers and stuff. I just never got the heart to ask her to make me a bunch so I can give them to people. And then I go to TST and I get a bunch of stickers and t-shirts, and I feel bad because I don't have anything to give to anybody, because I got all the awesome shirts and stickers and I didn't have anything to give to anybody. Like, it sucks. And I may order stickers because she makes vinyls and they're different and more difficult to install. But I may order some stickers. I know I've talked to a bunch of you guys about the companies you use to get them and stuff. So I may order some stickers instead of vinyls. That way you guys can put them on something. But like, I got pins and stuff. I get pins. I got my phone number on them and all that. And then I've got flyers that are advertisements for me. I've got notepads that have little advertisement at the top, says L1. It's got my logo, and then it just says some of the stuff I do and my phone number real big. And launch rep at TST told me all the X431V Plus told me they're all overseas, very little support. I didn't get a pin. No, I didn't bring any pins with me. That's the thing. I didn't think to bring any stuff. I've got a bunch of advertising stuff. I just didn't bring it. I was there to just have fun with you guys. I totally forgot about bringing you guys stuff, so I feel bad. But I didn't get a pin. Oh yeah, I already read that. Autel has a bypass cable for the Chrysler, and that works great until 2020, because Chrysler's changed all their security gateway module stuff again, and the bypass cable isn't going to work. I mean, if you just pay for the YTech Access or Tech Authority, it bypasses right past that because it's in an authenticated tool. So for me, it doesn't make sense for me to pull a radio and spend time pulling a radio to do that when I can just pay for the YTech access or the Tech Authority access and then charge the customer for that. That's mine. But if you're going to shop, you may have to. You may be required to do that. So, and then GM's coming out with it too. GM is the next one for sure to come out with it. My watching WrestleMania this Sunday. I don't even watch wrestling anymore, man. It's been so long since I don't even have time to watch TV. I don't remember the last TV show I watched. I've been trying to watch the Marvel movies with my daughters so I can go take them to see Captain Marvel, but it's taken so long for me to get that done with them. By the time we get done to where we can see Captain Marvel, it'll probably not be in theaters anymore. I don't have much time anymore. So I'm doing this. I'm double duty in it. I'm double duty. I need a sound effect. I need to like Erico's got the brake cleaner can. I need to come up with some kind of sound effect. I'm double duty in it here. I'm trying to do a live stream and install a printer, and all I do is keep touching the cables and wiggling stuff around. But I'm out of freaking plugins. I don't have any more spaces to put stuff. Well, there's the launch right there. Launch Diagun X431B. I have a bunch of turbo blow off noises. I got a bunch of videos and sound clips from my 300ZX twin turbo that I probably use. I have a 2019 Chrysler, but hopefully won't need anything for a while. I did look at the 12+8 cable, like you said, but who wants to pull a radio, right? Raglan says, welcome to self-employment. Absolutely. No freaking time. How do I like the bigger launch scanner? Is that the American? No, this is not the American one. This is a Chinese one. It was like 800 and something bucks. But Keith, Erico is already working on his next sound effect. 3-year warranty, wide X31V versus X31V Plus. Ooh, I don't know if there's a difference. I don't know of an X431V Plus. This just says V. I don't know. Oh, for fluid film, yeah. But yeah, this is the full-size X431V. This is like my #1 aftermarket scan tool, my go-to for. I do pre-scan and post-scans on this a lot because it'll do them real fast. I pre-scan every car I touch. If I'm coming, I got called for today for a C2116 ABS control pump circuit low on a 2010 Jeep Compass. First thing I did, full system scan. Save the file as a pre-scan. That way, if there's ever like, oh, you said it was this and now there's this, I can go, look, man, the moment I got there, that was not the fault that was there. The fault that was there was this, and that's what we figured out, and that fault's gone now, so I obviously fixed it. My shop's interested in that scanner you're holding. How's the Wi-Fi on the tool? It's good. I get pretty far away from it. Sometimes I sit in my van and leave the car, if the car doesn't have AC or something, or it's nasty, I try not to get in it. Does it update? Yes, absolutely. Update it all the time. I registered the account. Matter of fact, if you go to King Boland's channel and they made a video about registering and updating the product, that's me. I did the video for them. And I can go, I'm logged in, so I can go to update. And this is a Chinese market tool. And I'm not going to show you my login username and address, or username and password, but I just clicked login. And hopefully it works. I just updated it this morning, but usually there's something. Network failure. Is it on the internet? I don't even know if I have it on the internet right now. 1 second. Well, it logged in, so it should. But anyways, oh yeah, there we go. So I can go in and I can update. Bins needs to be updated. I can click update and it'll update. I mean, I update this thing pretty frequently. And when they sell it, it says it gets a 3-year warranty. Now, you do not get US tech support. If you have this tool and you have a problem and you call the Launch Tech USA number or whatever, you are not getting any help. You have to call China. You have to ship it back to China if you got to ship it back. So it is not a direct replacement. It is not an exact. I mean, there are a lot of downfalls of having Chinese tools. Trust me. But for the cost, it was worth having it. At 800 and something bucks, I'll throw it away and get another one if it lasts a year. If I get 800 bucks for a year out of a scanning tool that's updated, that's worth it, man. Right? I mean, if what's an update for an Autel right now? $1,200 for the Pro or the Elite for the updates? Yeah, you got 3 years for free. Let's say you got an MS 908P, like this one right here. Okay, let's say you got that. You bought the thing for like almost $3,000, $2,500. Maybe you got a good deal and got it for $2,200. Then updates are $895 a year for the non-Pro and like $1,200 for the year for the Pro. So let's say you got a deal and you got it for $800, right? For a year of updates. Dude, this thing's like $850 from China. Right? But if you are not tech savvy, buy a Launch Tech USA tool. Buy the red one. Buy the one for $1,400 or $1,500 from Launch USA and get US tech support. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't buy this at all. I mean, it's $800 a year for the Launch, right? That's pretty cheap. I mean, you could buy a new Chinese one every year for that, but you have no support, and you're probably missing some features and missing some stuff for US cars. So, Autel, if you don't update, you can't print. What the heck? Launch or Autel a primary aftermarket scan tool? Yes. I have both, and I use them both often. Dave says, V Plus is the successor to the V, the 4, and the Diagun 111. Okay. Yeah, because I also have the X431V IV, the 4, the Diagun 4, with a little dongle thingy, which I broke the other day. I broke the dongle. Now it doesn't stay in the top of the thing. And I got no support because it's a Chinese tool. So, you know, you got to pick and choose your battles. You can save a little money, but it's going to cost you in the long run probably. But I'm cheap, so, you know. And I don't use the aftermarket tools for a lot of special function stuff. I use it because it's faster than busting out an OE tool to do a pre-scan. Now, if it's a body shop and I need to do a pre-scan, post-scan because of a collision, but your sweet booty, I'm pulling out the OE tool for that one. That's what I pay for all the OE subscriptions for. You know, even if you don't use it, even if you get away with using the Launch, well, when it doesn't, you gotta be able to complete the job. You gotta have the OE stuff. That's what all the laptops are for that's back here, and the Master Tech, and the other stuff, and the console that's in the toolbox, and all that crap. So, anyway, guys, I hate when I break my dongle. Yeah, me too. He says, gotta run, enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one too, and we'll try to do more of these lighthearted ones. Like I said, doing 2 videos a week. We're doing Sunday, Patreon anyways. And this counts as one of them for Patreon. I tell those guys to come all over here. That's what it's for we can all hang out. What you're working on Wednesdays is normally I'm trying to do on Wednesdays, but I've been trying to find like a lunch break time to do it, but I don't really take lunch breaks. But regardless, 2 times a week I do videos. 1 training video is diagnostic programming or mobilizer training on Patreon. It's usually an hour long or more. And then there's this, the What You Working On series, which is where we hang out and I answer your questions and we talk about industry stuff and we just have a good time. Also, my wife got on to me and said I should do more social media stuff. So now I have an Instagram because she said I'm an old man because I didn't want to do the Instagram thing. So I got an Instagram. L1 Auto Diagnostics is the Instagram. I don't know if you're supposed to put like an @ or a hashtag or what the heck how that works, but I got an Instagram, L1 Auto Diagnostics, and I tried what I've been doing is just every time if I got some time, I think about it, usually 2 or 3 times a day, take pictures of what I'm going on. Oz says it's @ so @L1 Auto Diagnostics is my Instagram. You can check that out. No, thank you, Mark and Glenn and Wyatt. Yeah, I'm Wyatt. That's how I am. I was just like, I do YouTube and Facebook. What else do I need? She's like, you got to do Instagram. Everyone's looking at Instagram. So I got an Instagram. And that's kind of like Paul Danner's thing too. He told me, he's like, dude, you got to get more involved with that. So sorry, I'm having fun with the camera. Yes, so I got an Instagram. I post stuff up there that I'm doing all day long. Like 2 or 3 of the jobs I did today, there's pictures on. I got more pictures from jobs I need to post today, but I haven't had time to stop and do it. So, you know. Instagram is a funny game to play. Yes, it's having fun. But, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to hurry up and install this printer, go inside and get some dinner from the whiff. See if she's got food on the table. I'm kidding. Don't tell her I said that. She will hurt me. I'm kidding. But I'm gonna go get some dinner. Probably crack open a Guinness because unfortunately I don't have any draft. I need to buy a kegerator and do some Guinness at the house and just keep a keg of Guinness here. Which is funny. Everyone probably thinks I'm an alcoholic, but I really only drink socially and on the weekends. So, and if I'm gonna do a live stream. We'll see you guys next time. I gotta get off here for real. Have fun, stay dirty, don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you want some weekly training, check out my Patreon and Instagram and all that stuff. But hey, thanks guys.